You can put on a tablet or put singing. We're gonna listen to a couple of songs and sing through them. And I'm excited. Why don't we all have a stand? We can. So far, there's zero internet problems. That's great. Move this back a little. I got a fancy like ring light. All right, let me show you.
Whoops. Hey, Donna accidentally muted you.
Okay, I got it. Thanks. Yeah. Okay. Let's take a good full breath together. Lowers your heart rate, gets into your body. One more front and back. Big breath in. I don't know if you noticed, but I haven't been using my falsetto nearly as much as I do in my normal life, and therefore it's a little crackly. I haven't been going over that voice break over and over, and I've said this before to a lot of, especially to altos, that like the way to get over your voice break is to just do it and let your voice crack a bunch of times. And so like I need to do that a little bit more during this exciting time of not singing every day. Let's relax your shoulders a little bit, right? We're going to talk a little bit about how we use our body to sing and not just hear. That singing is an effortful activity, and the effort goes here. And this is all loose and easy and open, and that when most of us are vocally tired, we feel tired here. And that means that you're over controlling the sound and your larynx is working way too hard. So 2 fingers on each hand, move your larynx a little bit. We did this last time too. Larynx, just move around there. Make an O shape with your mouth and take a breath in. You feel your larynx drop and create all of that pharyngeal space. We want to live in that pharyngeal space. So big breath in and then let it stay loose and open. Another one of those. Big breath in. Nice and relaxing. Good. Please remain standing. I'm going to sit down at the piano. Good. We're going to start right here. We're going to take that. So you might notice that right now, as we've stopped doing that singing, that your larynx is back at home base. Right? It's just where it sits all the time. This is just normal space for your larynx. As I'm talking right now, it's in normal space. If I lower my larynx, you notice my sound changes a lot, right? I'm not doing anything weird, just my larynx is lower, my soft palate's higher, which creates that big richness and roundness in my speaking voice, and also works when you sing. That's the idea. So we want to keep that all the time. So think your larynx down and low. But as you breathe in, your larynx is already low, and we sing. Do you find that as we keep going higher, that you're getting more careful, right? It's a normal thing as singers because most of us speak around oh in our ranges, right? But then as we go higher, it gets outside of our spoken range, and therefore we might, instead of going oh, go oh, where the first thing I'm doing is clenching to check the pitch. Oh, well, that's the right pitch. Cool. And it sounds beautiful, I know. The idea is that you're going to hit the right pitch, right? And if you miss the right pitch, go pretty. Sing full. Sing rich. You're in this fantastic space where if you miss, no one knows, not even me. Right? So just swing for the fences. Big breath in and one more. Good. Big breath in. Excellent. So, here's another one. We're going to sing lots of sliding. Since we're on larynx patrol tonight, you might notice that your larynx goes up right after you breathe. You breathe in, you go, and then it closes you off right before you make your first sound, because your first sound is going to be an E vowel. And say E, 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 E. It's a high larynx vowel, so you need to make all that space. E, E. Think all that space. You might also notice your larynx comes up when you slide up. Right? That your larynx is joining the party. I don't like to think of it as it's getting in the way. I like to think of it as it's trying to help. Right? Your larynx isn't bad. It's not a bad thing. It's just trying to help you out. You don't need it. It's just there. So let it relax, low out of the way, and your job is to just have a big, open PVC pipe-like space. And same exercise. For basses and altos especially, right now, that high note on an E vowel, tricksy, right? That it's tricky is for lower voices to get up, to use the E vowel up in that space. So you can put a little more I in it. Easier on the ah. Give it a try, and excellent. We're going to start here. We're going to sing yo, yo, yo. I'm using a lot of E vowel, because E vowel makes it tricky because your larynx wants to join the party. As your tongue goes up for your E, your tongue kind of races like this, and your larynx wants to join it. And so you have to think of the tongue coming up just a little bit instead of a lot of it. Comes up just a little bit, and the larynx stays down. So in yo, 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 lots of air. Yo, 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 yo. Let it relax. Yo, 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 yo. Don't force anything, just let it happen. One more. So one more thing about the larynx is not only does it like to become too high, when we're doing the lowest stuff, it tends to want to be pressed and a little bit too low, actually. So if I'm trying to over masculinize my sound and I sing, no, 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 I feel big and powerful and it sounds forced because it is. I'm depressing my larynx. So you want instead, no, 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 no. And for basses specifically, it doesn't work quite the same for altos. For basses specifically, as you get to that lowest part of your range, as long as you keep your larynx down, you can brighten it to make it louder and uglier. Because when you're singing below the staff, ugly is fine. Honestly, because if you're singing on its own, it sounds kind of brash, but put a chord over it, and it sounds great, okay? So bass is all about keeping the larynx low and bringing the sound kind of forward right at the bridge of your nose. No, so no, 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 no. That's how you fill the room with that kind of bassy volume. Excellent. Here, starting, we're to sing Z, 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 The goal here, larynx-centric, is that when you sing Z and you finish, you don't close. It's not Z, 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 right? Z, it's also open. Z, 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 low breath. Z, 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 keep breathing low. Z, 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 lots of air. Z, 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 one more time. Z, 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 as it gets higher in the range, the wonderful lie that I've told most of you many times is that it's just as much air through a high note as it is through a low note. And it's a really kind lie. There is slightly less air through a high note than a low note, but this is how much air you use when you speak. This is how much air you use when you sing low notes, and this is how much air you use when you sing high notes. Okay? The problem is that when we sing high notes, we tend to use this much air. We go with the spoken amount of air, which is kind of squeeze. But you need to know that it's still a ton of air. It's a ton of air, just not quite as much is released when you sing high as when you sing low, which is, not something you have to think too much about. Just think a lot. Just think a lot all the time. All right, friends, why don't you have a seat? If you did print out "'Tis the Season," a secular caroling melody, you can pull that up. If not, you can pull it up on a screen. It is in that Dropbox that is in the chat right now. Adam Pod, I said this last on Wednesday, but I don't know if any of you heard any of this. So Adam Pod is the director of music at the UU congregation in Brooklyn, New York. He's great. The thing in Brooklyn is there's so many musicians that you can get Broadway singers for $100 a service. So he's often bringing in all these like really high quality musicians, and they have a lot of money in Brooklyn. So, but he and his identical twin brother Matt put together these put together 3 different like made virtual choir pieces. So they have the video, you open the YouTube video, you put in your headphones, you add a recording there. I'm going to pull up the little screen for you. I need to share my screen. The more you learn when you do Zoom rehearsals. So, can I move this? Yes, I can. So here's "'Tis the Season." And so they have this whole guide that you will all receive that has how easy ways to learn the music, because each video has a singer singing just your part, right? And then when you record, you will listen to that. You'll listen to that, have that part in your ear while you sing along. He also has where you slate your video, right? Where you clap your hands, because for our audio engineers and video engineers, that's very important for them. This is my favorite thing I've been talking about all week, is that, you know, get creative on how you set up your recording device. This person used their computer and a box of graham crackers to set up their iPhone, which I think is totally hilarious. I recorded a virtual choir thing yesterday, day before, time is meaningless, and I like had my iPad on my music stand, but I had to have it totally vertical, so it kept falling forward. So I just duct taped it to my music stand. And like, it's just, you just gotta figure this stuff out, you know? You can have someone hold the camera for you if you have someone around, but if not, we just have to jerry rig things and figure them out. So it's really cool. Let me show you we're gonna listen to this whole thing together. This is the guy, it has a full choir guide track, but there's still the slate in it and everything. And you'll see how they're on YouTube and that they are excellent.
Hey there, get ready to clap on beat 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Deck the hall with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis the season to be jolly, fa la 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 la. Don we now our gay apparel, fa la 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 la. Stroll the ancient Yuletide carol, fa la 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 la. Here we come a-caroling among the leaves so green. Here we come a-wandering so fair to be seen. Love and joy come to you, and to you glad tidings too. And we wish you and send you a happy new year. And we wish you a happy new year. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Ha ha ha! Bells on bobtails ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight! Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh! Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh! Hey!
So that's it, right? And so the music just scrolls for you. It makes it super user-friendly, which is great. So no one has to be looking down at their music while they're recording a virtual choir. It's really a cool thing that Adam and Matt put together. So we will be recording that. The due date will probably be just before Thanksgiving, right? That's the idea with that one. And then the one we'll do earlier is Draw the Circle Wide, which also has a slightly different setup. It doesn't roll the music for us. But if I open, I thought I had this one already open. But you guys all have access to this quarantine choir music. Draw the Circle Wide. In this document, the sheet music's in there as well. And then in this document, we have all the parts sung by Matthew Curtis. Matthew Curtis is a longtime member of Chanticleer, and now he's made a business making rehearsal tracks for choirs. And I use them for the Atlanta Gay Men's Chorus. I pay him, and he makes rehearsal tracks for the choir, and it's really wonderful. His sound is only in tune. There's like nothing cool about it. He just sings in tune, which is fine. Like, great, you know, it's better than singing out of tune. But there's not a lot of style to what he does. He just sings. So pull this up. Why don't we let's grab the tenor one. How about that? So there's no music, but you do get to see his face. So right now the accompaniment and soprano parts are in the background. soft. Sorry, it's coming through my computer really soft too. The tenors will come, it'll be louder.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone.
And here's one
We'll
with balanced voices.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. No one stands alone, we'll stand side by side. Draw the circle.
And music there. Sing.
Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide. Draw it wider still. Let this be our song. No one stands alone, standing side by side. Draw the circle wide. Draw the circle wide.
So in Atlanta, we've sung that one many times. It's a great song. It feels really good. One thing that we've always do in Atlanta is we cut some parts because there's like 1,000 repeats and the song can feel a little slow. So what I'm going to be working on is to see if Jeep and I can get together and cut all of these parts to make this not a 6-minute song, but like a 4-minute song, which is how we usually do it, right? For one, it'll be a little bit faster, and then we won't do all of the repeats. We'll probably sing the beginning in unison instead of in 2 parts, and then at the end, I said this on Wednesday, but he sings the chorus, I think, 5 times. That's just too many times. No one wants to hear the chorus that many times. At that point, you're like, I like this chorus, but I don't want to hear it again. But it's a great tune. And then we'll take that accompaniment track, we'll sing over it. We're going to add some violins. We're going to add drums to it. We'll add some guitars and some bass. We'll make it a whole big how to do. I'm going to invite the children's choir at UUCA to join us. So we'll, I think that opening it might actually just be the kids singing instead of the sopranos and altos, which could be really adorable and fabulous. So that's kind of a plan. We'll be turning that one in early in November. So the next plan is in 2 weeks we'll have rehearsal, and then we'll have rehearsal the week after that as well. And during that time we'll talk about how to record videos. For some people, just recording a video was feeling bad to them. So I'm going to make a how to record video. I've been making those for the Gay Men's Chorus. Here's how you set up. Here's what it should look like. And we'll set up some time at the Treehouse in Atlanta for you guys to come and record. If you're feeling like you can't do it on your own, we'll just be there. We'll wear masks and set it up so you can walk into a room, click a button, sing, head out. Make that easy. Our friends in San Diego, you should absolutely join us. Have a fantastic time singing with us. I'm going to invite some other folks around the Atlanta area as well, but you know, invite your choir, have them come sing along and make some music. We'll create some projects. How I feel about these is that it's not gratifying to make them. It's not like the process of making it. It's not that fun. The product is awesome. in the end. You just don't get to do it for like a month. There's like this month in between when you do the part that's like not that fun, and you get to like see it and hear it, and like you've just made music with your friends, but it's just you don't get to see it for a whole month. So the end product is so gratifying and so lovely, and it's a really nice thing we get to make together during all this weirdness. And it just, I know that the process is its own thing. It takes about 10 to 15 minutes just to set up your camera. Like that's just the truth of the matter. Like just setting up the camera and getting the right shot takes like 10 or 15 minutes, and you're gonna make some mistakes, and like it just is what it is. So you do multiple takes. Some people were like, I recorded but I never sent in a take because I didn't like the way it sounded. And no one's ever going to hear the way it sounds with just you. Nobody. Right? They separate the sound from the video, they put it all together, and like they hear it as its choral and then start mixing with it. So no one will ever hear just your video. It's not a thing that happens in virtual choir world. But it is going to be a fun and exciting thing that we get to do together. So I hope you will dive in. I'm going to invite some other UCA folks to join us as well, and it's going to be a blast. So that's what we have going on for the rest of 2020 is having our Wednesday nights where we get to sing together a little bit, but also some projects that we get to do that I'm very excited about. A bunch of congregations have played our We Pray video on Sundays. It kind of went viral. so I keep getting emails like, I love this. Can I show it in worship? And I just say yes to everything. We're getting that too. Folks like watch our services and then say like, hey, can we use your video for our thing? And I just say yes all the time. Like there's that's what we've been doing here in Atlanta. If there's anything people want, we just send it to them. So yeah, but a lot of folks have been using our We Pray, which I think is just lovely. It's a really beautiful thing. It's not only a great project, but the product is really beautiful, and people feel it and they cry. I think it has I know it has over 1,000 views on YouTube. Let's see what it has now. UCA. I typed in We Perry. That doesn't gonna work. Yeah, so it has over 1,000 views, and people have been using it. It's just awesome. So, all right, friends, why don't we have a little happy hour? You can unmute yourselves. I'm gonna pour a glass of wine.